Today we're going to be diving into a topic that's been buzzing, and it's got a title that might ruffle some feathers. Jade Cargill haters will not like this. Now, before we get anyone in their Undertaker gear in a twist, we're here to look at the facts, the progress, and the sheer star power of one Jade Cargill. If you've been side-eyeing her WWE run, or maybe just curious why she's making such big waves, stick around, because we're about to break down exactly why Jade Cargill is a problem for the entire WWE women's division and why her critics might just have to eat their words. Let's get into it. All right, so picture this. It's just before WrestleMania 41. The air is thick with anticipation, body oil, and probably a little of nervous sweat. And who graces Shaq Wrestling with her pre-battle presence? None other than this human skyscraper, the walking embodiment of star power, Jade Cargill. Now, Jade, bless her heart, decided to give us a peek behind the curtain, if you will, a look into Jade Cargill's finishing school, WWE edition. She's talking about her journey, her growth. She said, and I quote from this candid pre-WrestleMania chat, "I've grown so much since being here." You hear that, folks? She's grown. She was already, 6 feet of something, of pure intimidation. Now she's grown even more. The woman must be thrilled. And how she's achieved this new level of awesome, you ask? Well, apparently WWE sent her on a global wrestling tour without ever leaving Orlando. She said going to Japan, Germany, working with different styles under one roof. So basically she's become a one-woman escapade of center of wrestling techniques, right? She is going from 1 minute of hitting German suplexes to the next of just Japanese strong style, all with the signature Jade flair. For someone known with her presence that polishes early on, that's quite glowing, right? Now, who deserves the credit for this evolution? I would say her. The census of SmackDown, Matt Bloom, Terry Taylor, plus all the legit NXT talents, her words working their tails off. Well, she sees the grind and she looks at it as, it made me want to work more harder. Now just imagine Jade Cargill deciding to work harder. I know. Some people say that she doesn't work hard enough. I would say that she over-delivers. The rest of the roster should probably just start pre-writing their concession speeches now when it comes to where she's going in the future. Now, this was all before her big, emotionally charged WrestleMania showdown with Naomi, a match that was built on pure history, bloodshed, and bad blood, not just some shiny belt. But even with that spotlight, Jade was all about becoming a more complete performer. She said, "I know what works and what doesn't, thanks to WWE's structured environment." See, structure. It's just not about IKEA furniture assembly. It helps build wrestling titans too. So with WrestleMania 41 now in the history books, Jade Cargill's words hit even harder, don't they? Her journey isn't about proving stuff to the haters. No. It's just about sipping on the haterade. It's about evolving, adapting, and continuing to grow into a megastar that she clearly is destined to be. What do you guys think? Is Jade Cargill growth the scariest thing in WWE right now? Let me know that in the comments area below. And hey, if you're trying to grow and maybe try wrestling in Japan and Germany from your living room, well, it worked for Jade. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring that bell so you don't miss our next deep dive into wrestling realness and ridiculousness. Because let's be real, wrestling can be ridiculous sometimes. I think if you look at the way that WWE has positioned Jade Cargill, it's actually pretty remarkable. It's something in which I think fans overlook and they underappreciate. You got to keep in mind that Jade Cargill came from AEW, a rival promotion. Now, in years past, especially under Vince McMahon, some could say that she would have been buried right out of the get-go. But under Triple H, they've made a conscious decision, and I think it really started with Cody Rhodes, and granted, that was still under Vince McMahon, of, hey, we're in this wrestling war. If you come from AEW, we're not going to bury you, right? We're not going to give you the WCW treatment or the ECW treatment. And she's benefited from that. It started with Cody because they knew with him, hey, we have to tell this roster of AEW talents, if you come here, we are not going to screw you over. And they did not do that with Cody. They did not screw him over. They did not screw over Jade when she came over. And I think that is a very, very smart, intelligent way to do so. Because Jade Cargill does have something that is different. She is unique, right? From a charisma standpoint, from a presence standpoint, she's definitely got the look. She's got the imagery, if you will. But there are flaws with her. She is not the greatest on the mic, and she is very limited in the ring. But at the end of the day, I think you also have to look at, okay, where can we grow Jade Cargill? Where can we mold Jade Cargill? Where can we really emphasize where she's going? Well, you can do that with her promos. That's definitely an area in which she can grow. But honestly, I think she's done just fine in selective moments. And in the ring, just like with her promos, they've been very calculated with their decisions with Jade, right? They're not going to overexpose her. They're not going to ask her to go out there and cut a promo for 20 minutes or do a 30-minute match or anything like that. I would be stunned to hear that she was leading her matches, right? She was calling her matches. Plus, she's been a babyface up to this point. So usually heels call the matches in general. But I think that they've done wonders with her. Her going over Naomi, I think, was a questionable decision at WrestleMania, right? Like I was talking about it going in, I was talking about it coming out, but I think if you're Jade Cargill and if you're a Jade Cargill fan, you want to see this program be extended. Now, I understand that she's mixed it up most recently with Women's Champion Tiffany starting on SmackDown, and, she's been in the mix with them. But if you're a Jade Cargill fan, if you're a Naomi fan, I also think you have to look at it like this. You want her to extend this program with Naomi because it's been one of the top programs in the entire company, and it's been going on for multiple months. And Jade Cargill is doing her part, and Naomi is absolutely crushing it. And if you look at it like that, that's all you can ask for, right? Like, I would say if you poll most people, if you look at the overall storyline, the overall arc of this program, I think most people would agree that they've actually overachieved with what they've been able to do. And if you're WWE, if you're fans, and if you're the wrestlers, well, that's all you can ask for, right? You never want to underachieve in any part of life, right? Whether it's pro wrestling or your job or whatever. But if you can overperform, then I think that is even more impressive. Now, where they go with this, how they end this storyline, well, that is still up in the air. But hey, sign me up. Sign me up to see what Jade Cargill and Naomi can do, because I would be very, very interested in seeing what they can do going forward.